uh, we were reviewing one paper by one paper, right? Okay, so for the past 2 weeks, we were focusing on paper 2, right? Okay, which is writing. And understandably, it took some time, because writing, as you all know, is not something that students cherish, right? Okay, so but I think we have looked at 2 parts so far, right? So in your writing paper, you have 3 parts, right? Okay, the first part is where you need to write an email, right? Short communicative message, right? Okay, and the second part will be where guided writing, okay, which is not that difficult in my opinion, right? Okay, part 1, part 2 do not pose any kind of like problem. I think you all are familiar with that, right? Okay, I think email is something that you all have written so many times, right, in your life. So guided writing, also you guys are very familiar with, right? Okay, so the one that poses a little bit difficulty will be the part 3, where you have this extended writing, where you have to choose one, okay, question out of 3 questions. So the 3 question, what type of question are they are? So that means you have to write either a report, an article, or a story, right? Okay, so in this what do you call this report, right? Okay, one of the type of report is also known as review, right? Okay, a review. Okay, so last 2 weeks, right? Okay, we've been looking at part 1 and part 2, and last week we touched a little bit on part 3, right? Okay, where we looked at one type of a report, which is a society report, right? Okay, how you were to write a society report, okay, or club, right? Your club, society club, right? When you had an activity, right? Okay, how are we going to write a report for that, right? Okay, so today we're going to look at the other types of report, right? Okay, then we will move on to the another question, which is story. Something should be very familiar to all of you, I believe, because you all are familiar with narrative essay, and narrative essay basically is a story, right? Okay, you are writing a story, so we will look into that. Then once we are done with that, I believe we should be able to, right? Okay, just give it another 1 hour for this one, right? Okay, then once we are done with that, and we will shift our focus to paper 3, right? Okay, which is speaking. Surprisingly, many of you have been asking for that paper, right? Okay, paper 3, speaking. I don't know whether it's because it's something new this year, or you all are not confident about speaking. I don't know what is the issue here, right? But anyhow, once we are done taking a look at this writing, then we will go to speaking, and I will show you the type of questions that they will ask, right? We will look at the booklet, and we will also watch a video, right? Okay, to give you a clear picture of how this speaking is conducted, so that you can see for yourself, and what you need to do and what you should not do, right? Okay, and we will also, if time permits, we will look at 2 videos, right? One with where the students did not do that well, right? Okay, and their eventual score was band 1 and band 2, which is considered like a failure, right? Okay, so, and we also will look at students who were very, very good, right? Okay, and their score was band 5 and 6, all right? Okay, so we can learn so many things from this, and as I told you just now, it will definitely give you a clear picture of what to expect, right, from the speaking test, right? Okay, so before we go to that, right, okay, let's finish up this writing. Okay, paper 2, right? Okay, so I think most probably we will be looking at paper 4, right, next week, right? Okay, all right, without wasting time, right? Okay, just hold on, I will share. All right. Okay. So I'll just do a little bit of review of what we did last week, right? Okay. So part 1, part 2, we already done, right? Okay. I even reviewed last week itself, right? Okay. I think there's no need for the third time, right? Okay. We can just move on to the part 3, which is extended writing, which we did. Took a look, only for article, right? Okay, so today we're gonna look at everything, right? Okay, once everything is done, like what all of you requested, right? Okay, I will put everything in a note, right? Okay, and I will pass it to you all, right? So for your reference, okay. All right, so let's take a look at that. So like I said, right? Okay, article we already saw, right? Okay, article we already saw, right? Okay. So I think we are clear about article, right? How to write an article, right? Okay, if the question on article comes out, right? Okay, so now we are going to the reports. Okay, reports, might be considered as very complicated, right? Okay, a lot of students do not prefer to write a report, right? Okay, because they are kind of like worried about the format, right? Okay, because there are few types of report which you really need to get the format right, okay, otherwise it will go wrong, right? So but if you know the format, right? Okay, I think report is one of the best question that you can go for, right? Okay, believe me, right? Okay, because you see article, even though it might be very similar to an essay, right? Okay, you just write a title and you just come up with like a piece of writing. But reports, if you guys manage to understand, right? Okay, about the format and what you need to do and everything, then it should not be a problem actually. All right. Okay, eventually I believe that most students will go for story, right? Because it is something that they are familiar with, right? Okay, so understandable, right? Okay, but of course reports also something that you can consider, right? Okay, now take a look. Okay, so the question requires you to write a report which is formal account of an event or situation. So the different types of reports are, okay, so we are looking at society and school report, which we already seen last week, but anyway, we'll just go through it in a glance, right? Okay, and report to the principal, all right? Okay, I understand why students are very hesitant towards writing a report, because you see, if you've never been a prefect, right? Okay, you don't know, right? Okay, how to write a report to a principal, right? Okay, you may have a wild guess, but sometimes you can't write something based on a guess, right? Okay, so that's why students, they tend not to prefer report, right? Okay, so there is also police report. Yeah, like you all will be thinking, oh my god, that even makes the situation even worse, isn't it? Right? Police report, right? Okay, so then you have book or movie report, which is also known as a review, right? Okay, so well, among the types of report, like this is one thing that like I think students like, all right? Okay, if they are like a bookworm or a movie buff, right? Okay, so if that's the case, then they should not have any problem, right? If the question were to ask, like, oh, review a book, right? Okay, if you're a bookworm, right, it's not a big issue for you, right? You can do the review, right? Okay, and if you're a movie buff, right? Okay, if they ask you to review about a movie, then it should be a piece of cake for you, right? Okay, so from all this, all right, okay, and you also have news report, all right, okay, this is also something considered difficult by the students, because I mean, they have seen the news report, they have read the news report, but they do not know how to write the news report, right? Okay, so out of this 5, right, okay, obviously most of them will go for book or movie review, right? Okay, so review also, there is another type of review. I mean, like not got nothing to do with what you call this book or movie. It's a general review, right? Okay, so we will look into that also later, right? Okay, okay, let's move on. Okay, guidelines in writing a report, right? Okay, so these are the few guidelines. Okay, I believe I already mentioned last week, but anyhow, you just take a look, right? Okay. Okay, first you must know what report you're required to write. Okay, so like I say, there are a few types of report, right? Okay, so you need to know what type of report you are required to write. Okay, so that is the first thing, right? Study the question to understand what type of report is asked for. Why you need to study? Because only then you can come up with the format, right? Okay, you have to come up with the format, right? Okay, read all the points given, right? Okay, there will be some helping points there given for you, right? Okay, to be included in your report. So you have to read all the points given, right? Okay, organize them in a sequence. Okay, this is very, very important. Okay, you should not mess up the organization, because like, don't put something, just follow the order, just follow the order, just simply put, just follow the order, right? Okay, as simple as that, right? You can add your own points, you can add your own points, okay, but make sure that is relevant to that particular report, right? Okay, if it's irrelevant, I believe you are wasting your time, right? Okay. Okay, write your reports in paragraph or sections. Okay, like I say, like students sometimes they do not prefer to write paragraphs. I do not know why, but when you write in paragraphs or sections, it like organize your report, right, or your piece of writing in a proper way, right? Okay, so it can be easily understood, right, easily read, right? Okay, and people, even for your examiner to evaluate your piece of writing, right, okay, will be easy as well, right? Okay, so the next one, use formal language and expression. So please remember, okay, for your part one, right, okay, there was communicative short message, okay, which is an email. That does not require you to use formal language, that is informal, right? Okay, whereas for the essay, the part two, that's where the formal comes again, right? And for part three, again, it will be formal as well, right? Okay, so there is one section here, right? One type of question here will be informal, right? Okay, that's one we will see after we have look into this report, right? Okay, all right. Sign your report if you're required to, right? Okay, sign your report if you're required to, right? Okay, so you have to sign your report, right? Okay, so we'll look into that also later. All right. Okay, do's and don'ts. Okay, do's first. Use the format of report regardless what type of you're writing. Okay, so what type you are writing, right? Okay, so the format is very, very important, right? Okay, write in sections or paragraph, whichever is suitable, right? Okay, so use formal and simple language, give all the necessary information, and your report with clear conclusion, right? Okay, because you see, it needed a clear conclusion, all right? Okay, otherwise the significance of your report, right, okay, will be unknown, right? Okay, so that's why you have to give a clear conclusion, right? Okay, then as for don'ts, don't write the report in any manner you wish, right? Okay, let's say out of the three questions, right, okay, you encounter a question on article which you do not fancy, because maybe the topic is kind of like hard, right? Okay, and you see a story which you also think that you won't be able to come up with, right? Okay, and somehow you see a question on a report, right? Okay, they're asking you to write a report, but the topic they ask you to write a report, right? Okay, you find it a little bit easier, right? Okay, but at the same time, you do not know the format of that particular report. Then even though the what do you call, the topic is something that is very easy, right? Okay, you cannot just simply assume that, oh, I will just write a report in any way I wish, right? Okay, that is not something that you should do, right? Okay, so next, write the whole report in one section or paragraph. Don't do this, right? Okay, like I said, right? Okay, why we use section, why we use paragraph is because to have a good organization, right? Okay, so that is the reason why we are having this one. All right, so please do not write, okay, write in whole, because it will be like crowded, and then with the all the format and everything is there in a single paragraph, right? Okay, it can create a whole lot of confusion, right? Okay, for the examiner, right? Okay, that is right. Okay, so that's why, okay, use informal language and expression, leave out important information, right? Okay, do not use informal language. Okay, you must understand that you are writing a report, right? Okay, I think you should know for which purpose normally we write report. So mostly is like for formal occasions, right? Okay, so that's why we can't like use this informal language. And you also should not leave out important information, especially the points which have been given there, right? Okay, you must include that, right? Okay, don't forget that. End your report abruptly without a clear conclusion, like I mentioned in do's, right? Okay, you have to have a clear conclusion. So if you don't have a clear conclusion, like I say, the significance of your report, okay, will be unknown, right? Okay, will be unclear, right? Okay, so that is the reason why we must not end your report abruptly without a clear conclusion, right? Okay. Okay, so let's take a look at the first one, right? Okay, something that we already like looked last week, right? Okay, but before we go to the second one, so we just take do a short review, right? What we looked at last week, right? Okay, so a society report or school report is a formal report. Normally it took place in a society or club, like it talks about the activities or plans, or your post activities, like something that has already been carried out, and then they want a report on that particular activity that you carried out, right? Okay, so basically it's like that, right? Okay, so guideline and techniques. First, write down the heading of your society report. This is very, very important, right? Okay, if there is no heading, that people do not know what is the report is about, right? Okay, you have no idea. Mention the name of the society. You also must mention the name of the society. Okay, which society is this, right? Okay, so write the report in paragraphs or sections, like I mentioned. Okay, this is something that you need to consider. Each section can start with a subheading if you want to, right? Okay, there will be some report we will see later, right? Okay, how to start with subheading, right? Okay, provide all necessary information in your report, right? Mention the names of the people involved. This is very important. Please do not leave out any important names, right? Okay, in your report, right? Okay, especially the one that they asked to include, right? Okay, that is a must. Okay, if they say, okay, you must include about your teacher and your like the students, your fellow classmates, then you must include them, you must mention them, right? Okay, so sign the report at the end of it, right? Okay, write down your name and designation, right? Okay, so as a club secretary, normally will be the club secretary, right? Okay, the report won't be written by treasurer. Okay, yeah, it can be, right? Okay, that will be mostly will be financial report, right? Okay, but I don't think financial report will be coming out. Don't worry about it, right? Okay, financial report will mostly be like a mathematical question, so that will not come out, right? So nothing to worry about that, right? Okay. Okay, right. Okay, let's take a look at here, right? Okay, so this is a sample question that, like I showed you last week, right? Okay, so you are a secretary of a science society in your school. The club organized a Discovery Week activity last week. Okay, a secretary write a report of this activity, right? Okay, so you must include the following in your report. Okay, so these are the information I'm talking about, guys, right? Okay, girls, right? Okay, so you have to include all this. Okay, number of students and teachers involved in the activity, the location of the activity, the activities that took place, the time of arrival, the events that took place, appreciation and things learned, right? Okay, so basically, if you're wondering, teacher, if I left out any of it, well, like each of this particular information, it has a mark allocation for it, right? Okay, and if you missed out one, then it's very simple, you won't get the mark, that's it, right? Okay, that's the thing, right? Okay, nothing else, right? Okay, nothing special, right? Okay, all right, let's take a look at the sample answer, right? Okay, so the heading, Discovery Week, right? Okay, Pulau Redang, right, by Science Society, right? If you do not include this, people won't have a single idea of what you're talking about, right? Okay, what is this report about, right? Okay, so you straight away go and include everything that you need to include, right? Okay, so what they ask you there, right? Okay, the first thing there, right? Okay, so as you can see here, right? Okay, number of students and teacher involved in the activity, right? Okay, so for Discovery Week by Science Society this year, right? Okay, the first thing, right? Okay, you see, you are precise to point. You don't need to waste your time on talking about irrelevant things, right? Okay, so precise to the point. For the Discovery Week by Science Society this year, 125 students and 6 teachers went to Pulau Redang. The activities included fishing, snorkeling, diving, playing rugby and volleyball, badminton on the beach, and just sitting back and relaxing to the sound of the waves. All right, okay. Then we take a look at the next one, right? Okay. Then we arrived at the resort at noon. After lunch, we were sent to our designated chalet. We had quick bath and gathered outside for a lesson on how to make the rods for line fishing. So a good many of us learned that the secret to catching something is the quality of the bait, right? The squids we were given proved particularly effective, right? Okay. So as you look at here, right? Okay, they are talking about the activities that took place, time of arrival, right? Okay, everything, right? Okay, they are starting to write it down, right? Okay, so let's go to the next one, right? Okay, fishing is a tough job. There were ridiculous number of knots to be tied, and it was also complicated. So we could smell the salty odor of the waves as the residing tide continuously pounded on our ankles. Slowly but surely, we made our way to the waterfront and swung our rods out to the sea. So the calm water was very welcoming as we patiently stood waiting. The first one came after a long wait. We all dropped our rods into the water. While waiting, we also learned that patience really is a virtue, especially when it comes to fishing. The fishing activity and relaxation time among teachers and friends were much appreciated by all. Okay, so do you remember talking about appreciation, right? Okay, and thanks and everything, right? Okay. Okay, the variety of activities provided ensure that we were never bored. Each one of us tried different activities and we made many new friends from different year group, right? Okay, so you see, um, you know, there could be so many activities carried out, right? But you see, you don't need to, like give a detailed report of all the activities. That will be too much, right? Okay, you can take one activity and you can, maybe can be considered as the main activity, right? Among the other activities that conducted, right? Okay, you just simply do that, right? Okay, that should not be a problem there, right? Okay, so the next one, right? We were lucky to see some beautiful coral and some amazing marine life, right? Okay, as we say goodbye to the island resort, we also like to say goodbye to some friends at the end of another academic year. Thanks also to the teachers for helping us have such a fun discovery week. Without a doubt, going to Pulau Redang was a worthwhile trip. It was full of fun, adventure, and self-discovery. All right. Okay. This is where you are, like talking about appreciation and things that you learn and so on. Right. Okay. So that's what you are focusing here. Right. Okay. So very important class. Okay. Reported by, okay, your signature. Right. Okay. Michael Tan. Right. Okay. Your designation, Secretary, Science Society. Right. Okay, so this is right. Okay, report for your society, okay, or school report, right? Okay, anything you were to report to the school, this should be the way, right? Okay, so let's move on to the next one. Okay, so let's take a look at the next one, right? Okay, report to the principal. I'm sure that many of you will be wondering, teacher, if any one of you here to be a free fact, right? Okay, or been a free fact, right? Okay, then that's a total different story, I believe, right? Okay, so you all know, right? But if you never been a free fact, right? Okay, you may know, right? Okay, how to report, right? But you do not know the way, right? Okay, the correct format, right? Okay, so let's take a look, right? Okay, at this. Okay, a report to the principal is a formal account of an incident which happened in school, right? Okay, so the purpose of this principal, right? Okay, the purpose is for the principal to carry out the investigation and take action. All right. Okay, it must be something very serious, right? Okay, if the principal, if you're writing something to principal, so the purpose is of course for him to carry out an investigation, take action. So the report is addressed to the school principal, right? Okay, guidelines and techniques. Okay, the first part of such report is as follows. Okay, you take a look, right? Okay, to, right? Okay, of course the school principal, from, who, right? Okay, subject, then you must have the date, right? Okay. So address it to the person receiving it. If it's the principal, write down the name as well, right? Okay. On the next line regarding from whom, write down your name, right? Okay. The next two lines are on the subject, date of the report, right? You can write in sections or paragraph, right? Okay. Usually a report is written in the past tense. Okay. Why? Because as you can see, there it's stated a report to principal is a formal account of an incident which happened in school. All right. Okay. Is something that's already happened. Right. Okay. Is past. So that's why you must be careful with the tenses. So you must remember we are using past tense. All right. Okay. All right. End your report with clear ending. Okay, it can be making an inference or suggestion, right? Okay, so you cannot come up with the right, okay, how to say, you cannot give your judgment, but you can give a suggestion, right? That is something that you can do, right? Okay, all right. You have to sign your report on the left hand side. Okay, we will take a look at the report, right? Okay, so before that, look at a sample question, right? Okay, so you are walking along the corridor to the library when you heard a commotion, right? Okay, a fight, right? Okay, there was a noise there and everything, right? Okay, so a fight that occurred, right, occurred in the library, right? As a prefect, you've been asked by the principal to write a report on what happened, right? Okay, so you must include the following in your report, right? Okay, so these are the most important details, right? Okay, the library environment, right? Okay, the accounts of events, names and classes of people involved, right? Okay, the action taken, further account of events. Okay, so there are 5 things they are asking you here, right? Okay. Okay, let's take a look at the sample answer, right? Okay, so the format that I mentioned, right? Okay, 2, Mr. Salihuddin bin Bakar, school principal, right? Okay, from, okay, your name, right? Okay, Chia Jun Xiang, right? Example, right? Okay, free first subject, a fight in the library, right? Okay, date 2 March, right? Okay, 2021, right? Okay, 2nd of March, 2021, right? Okay, so you start, right? Okay, you explain, right? Okay, this morning at 9 a.m., right? Okay, class, another thing you must remember is an account, right? Okay, so you must exactly report whatever that took place, right? Okay, so the library was quiet as usual. Okay, if you're wondering what is they are talking about here, right? Okay, so the first thing they ask you to talk about, you ask you to include the library's environment, isn't it? Right? Okay, so as you can see here, so they are talking about the library's environment here, right? The library was quiet as usual, right? The librarians were arranging books on the shelf. So this is giving a further information, like what can normally will take place, right? Okay, in a library, right? Okay, so then you come up with the right, okay, backstory, right, for this one, right? Okay, a group of students sitting at the front tables were reading, right? Okay, so you have to give account of all. You see, when you are giving an account like this, you have to remember everything that took place there, right? Okay, so everything that happened, right, okay, occurred there, right, you need to remember and you need to come up with, right? Okay, and there was a queue of 5 students at the counter. All right. Okay. They were waiting to borrow books. A librarian was attending to them. Right. Suddenly, right, 2 boys from 4 Alpha. Right. Okay. Why this is relevant, class? Can you see names and classes of people involved? Right. So before that, prior to that, right, account of events. So you see, you are telling how the situation occurred, right? Okay, how the situation started, right? Okay, so that's what you are talking here, right? Okay, then you see 2 boys from Form 4 Alpha started shouting at each other. Their names are Kenny, Lou, and Fred Tang, right? So now you are talking about the name, right? Okay, they were in the queue too. From their expression, it was obvious that they were feeling angry with each other. All right. Okay. So now let's move on. Right. Okay. One of them, right, okay, shouted out some insulting words at other boy. Soon the 2 boys started punching each other faces. The girls who were seated nearby got scared and started screaming. All right. Okay. I was walking along the corridor when I heard the commotion. So I ran to the library, seeing the boys fighting. All right. Okay. So then the further things, the action taken, right? Okay. What really took place? I tried to stop them fighting, right? Okay. You saw the commotion, right? Okay. You know that they were fighting, right? Okay. Then what action then you took, right? Okay. So meanwhile, the class monitor of Form 4 Alpha Lee Meng ran to call the disciplinary teacher, right? So that's the further expansion of the what do you call action that taken, right? Okay. So you try to stop, whereas the class monitor were trying to call the disciplinary teacher, right? Okay. The teacher in Che Ahmad, right? Okay. So this is what I'm talking here, class. Okay. You see, you can just simply say that disciplinary teacher, but here you see they come up with a name, right? Inche Ahmad. So that shows when it comes to report, you have to be very, very particular with the details, right? Okay, you cannot just like leave it hanging in balance, right? Okay, I mean, people, you can't keep people wondering, right? Okay, who's the teacher, right? Okay, so you should not give any like room for like weaknesses, like why people can find, oh yeah, you didn't mention this, you did not mention this, right? Okay, so the teacher in Ahmad came in and warned the boys never to fight in school again, right? Okay, so you see here further accounts of events. Okay, further accounts of events. All right. Okay, then what really happened then? One of the boys, Fred, was hurt in his head. It was bleeding profusely. Inche Ahmad helped him to his car to take him to the clinic. Kenny borrowed a book and got out of the library. The chief librarian, Lily Sue requested the student to be quiet and continue their reading. All right. Okay. So I remember I mentioned that you can give your suggestion and everything, but you see, in this context, you are not in a position to give the suggestion, right? What kind of suggestion you can give? Because you see, the way you put it, the accounts there, right? Okay, you do not, like explain why they were fighting, but do you need to do that, right? Okay, sometimes you may not know also, right? Okay, it's because it's something that you saw, it's not that something that you are involved with, right? Okay, in order to find out what really happened, right? Okay, so the purpose of this also for the principal to investigate. So like there is no need for you to investigate and you tell everything in your report. So if you tell everything in your report, oh, I managed to find out what really happened, why the boys were angry with each other and everything, then what is the role of the principal here? So you are defining the purpose where, the purpose is for the principal to investigate and also to take action, right? Okay, and if you have done that in your report, then it does not serve the purpose, right? Okay, so that's why I'm telling you, you do not need to give that, right? Okay, and importantly, right? Okay, you must write this reported by signature Chia Junxiang, right? Okay, who are you, right? Okay, a free fact, right? Okay, a free fact. If you're wondering, teacher, is it necessary only free fact, okay, to make the report? Okay, a normal student cannot make a report. Well, you can, right? That will be somehow to the discipline teacher. If you are a normal student, right? Okay, you will be making the report to the discipline teacher, right? But in the case of free fact, they have given a position, right? Okay, so they are kind of like a little bit special, if you were to say that way, right? Okay, from the rest, and they are like asked a lot of account of things that are like happening in school, right? Okay, so that's why, all right, okay, they are the one normally will write the report, right? Okay, but it doesn't mean that a normal student cannot write the report. Yeah, of course, but your report will be totally different and it will be addressed to the discipline department, right? Okay, and sometimes the discipline department will not take it seriously because they might like doubt the validity of your report, right? Okay, so anybody can come up with a report, so that's why they go for those with the free fact, right? Okay, so that's the reason lah. So that's why you need to put the designation there, free fact, right? Okay, okay, all right. So I think we will just move on to police report, right? Okay, we'll just move on to police report, right? Okay, I think we already took a look in detail, right? Okay, about the report to principal, right? Let's go to police report. This is, guys, very complicated, and you know, like, I'm not disencouraging you in any way, right? Okay, if you were to see this question, right, in your exam, right? Okay, it will be better to steer clear out of this, because you know, like, this is very, very tricky, right? Okay. So, right, okay, a police report is a report made by an eyewitness, all right, of an incident that has happened, right? Okay. It is a report made to the police to help in their investigation, all right? Okay, at the same time, it can also be a burglary or robbery or an accident, right? Okay, so the problem with this police report is, if it's a burglary, is a different report. Okay, if it's a robbery, it's a different report, right, teacher? But burglary and robbery, what's the difference? Burglary is more to breaking in, right? Okay, into your house and stealing, right? Okay, things, right? It's more about the things that were taken. Okay, the things were that taken, right? Okay, what are the things that were stolen from your house? Okay, so that is a burglary. We don't call that a robbery, right? So robbery is more focused on the place, right? Okay, like a bank. The bank was robbed, right? You cannot say, oh, they burgle, oh, the burglary took place in the bank. No, burglary will not take place in the bank, right? Okay. So burglary is basically is about, you know, like, they will just steal the property in your house, right? Okay. So your, you know, like, whatever your valuable, you know, like, items, they will target that, right? Robbery is something different, so, right? Okay. Of course, it's stealing, right? But they're doing in a group, and they will focus in a place, right? Okay. So that's the thing, right? Okay. For accident also is totally different. Okay, for accident also totally different, right? Okay, so take a look at the guidelines and techniques. Okay, the report must be written in the format of a police report, right? Okay, I know that some of you might be wondering, teacher, in our life we never written a police report. You know, we never even step our foot into this police station, right? Okay, so how we will do this? Like I say, that's why I say at the beginning, if you were to encounter this question, please steer clear of this question, because like I say, not all of you know how to do a police report, but no problem, I'm going to show you now, right? Okay, maybe you get some idea, right? Okay. Okay, so give all the necessary details as required. Okay, so that is also important, right? Use the points given, all right? You can elaborate on the points, okay? Use simple and clear language. Okay, guys, one thing that you must understand, don't come up with all these bombastic words and in order to impress. Oh, you know, it's a police report, we have to come up with something, you know, like, out of the norm, right? Okay, so that's not the way, right? That's not the way. Give headings for the different section, right? Okay, sign at the end of the report, right? This is very important. Okay, right? Okay, you have to write down your name and identity card number, all right? Okay. Excuse, right? Okay, let's take a look at a sample question. When you and your family were out having dinner, your house was broken into. On your return, you all discovered many items missing. So this is clear that it's a burglary, right? Okay. Now your father and you are at the police station making a report of the burglary. Use the following notes in your report: address of the burglar, suspected time of the burglary, right? Okay. Actually, it's not address of the burglar, right? Actually, address of the burglary. Sorry, the Y is missing. All right. Okay. Sorry, guys. All right. Details: kitchen window at the back of the house forced open. Neighbor heard van driving. So they are talking about the method of entry, right? Okay. So how they entered, right? Okay. This is very important. So the items stolen, okay, 30-inch television set, a laptop, 2 Rolex watches, a diamond ring, and 5 gold chains, right? Okay. So all these details, okay, must be there, right? Okay. So now take a look, right? Okay. So okay, Kepung police station, right? From, okay, who is this? The person who's making the report, which is yourself. So your name, IC number, the date, right? Okay. And the heading there, right? Okay, house burglary at what, right? Then only they know this is a report about what. Okay, so otherwise they won't know, right? Okay, then you start, right? Okay, my family and I were out last night between 8 p.m. and 11 p.m., right? 11:30 p.m. There was nobody at home during this time. When we got home at 11:30 p.m. Okay, so when we are reporting this burglary, timing is very important, right? Okay. You may say that, like, oh, teacher, how are we supposed to know the timing? Guys, come on. You can just come up with any time. It's not that they're not going to find out whether the time is true or what, right? Okay, so you don't need to worry, right? You can come up with any time, right? We discovered that our house had been broken into. The suspected time of burglary was between 8 p.m. and 11:30 p.m. The kitchen window at the back of the house had been forced open, right? Okay. So you basically already, right, okay, mentioned, right, okay, address of the burglary, right, okay, in the what do you call it, the heading itself, right, okay, suspected time of the burglary, right, okay, the details, kitchen window at the back is house was open, right, okay. So the next one, neighborhood van driving away. So you give a little bit of details for this one, okay, right. Don't just simply end it, right, okay. My neighbor, so Hamid Side, like I mentioned again, right, okay, there is only written neighbor, right? Okay, so you are giving a name for your neighbor, right? Okay, this is very, very essential, right? Okay, so my neighbor Hamid Sidek said that he did not hear any noise in the house during the time we were out. However, at 10 p.m., he heard a van driving away from our front gate, right? Okay, so this is the detail that you can see here, all right? But they do not just simply say, oh, my neighbor said that he heard when driving away. So it does not stop. It does not like that, right? They didn't write like that, right? Okay. So you see, you give a little bit of backstory, right? Who is your neighbor? All right. Did not hear any noise, right? However, right. So just to extend your sentence, all right? Okay. So to make it a little bit dramatic, right? Okay. He heard a van driving away from our front gate. As he was upstairs in his bedroom, he did not come downstairs to look at the van. All right. Okay. So let's move on. All right. He believes that the burglars who had broken into our house must have driven the van. So now he's making an assumption, right? Okay. Because of the noise that he heard, he is assuming that, right? Okay. The burglars who had broken into the house must have driven the van. All right. Okay. So the following items were stolen from our house. Okay. A 30-inch television set, then second, a laptop, two Rolex watches, B, a diamond ring, okay, five gold chains, right? Okay, 5 gold chains. Okay, so when you want to mention the items, okay, you mention like this. Okay, so if you're wondering, teacher, is it possible if you were to put it in a paragraph, okay, the items that are missing, right? Okay, can. It's not that I am saying no, right? But guys, we are writing a report. We are not writing an essay or anything, right? Okay, why you need to write like that, right? Okay, so please be specific, right? Okay, because you are talking to police, you are making a police report. Police report, everything they want specific, right? If you do not put that specifically, you put it in, like in a crowded, like a paragraph where, like everything you put that jumble up, right? Okay, they won't do their work, right? They won't do their work because they have to look at it one by one, right? Okay, so you must understand that, right? Okay, so that's why it's written in numbers here, right? Okay, so the estimated loss is 40,000, right? Okay, so as you can see here, right? Okay, this is something that they did not put here, right? Okay, but you add this one. Like I say, in a report, right, you can add your own points, right? Okay, so you see the Rolex were my parents' wedding gift. So these all are like additional information. But guys, girls, is it related? Yes, it's related because one of the stolen items mentioned there was 2 Rolex watches, right? Okay, so they are making the connection. The Rolex watches were my parents' wedding gifts, so they have a sentimental value. I hope the stolen items will be recovered soon. My family and I will be happy to come and identify the items if recovered, right? Okay, so report, signature, right? Okay, then your name, right? Okay, so that's it. Okay, so basically that is a police report. All right. Okay, a police report. All right. Okay, now let's take a look at another sample question here. This is a police report but for a different purpose. What is the purpose here, class? All right, take a look at the question. You were involved, okay, in a road accident in front of a bank. You were standing at the traffic light when the accident happened. Now you are at the police station to make a police report of the accident. So use the following notes: place of the accident, date, time, how the accident occurred. So they have given you all the notes. Okay, so you can additionally add, but you must use all this information, right? Okay, description of the vehicle and driver as well, right? Okay, red proton Satiria, right? Okay, BQA, right? Okay, all right. Okay, now let's take a look. Okay, so just now I was telling you guys that you can use sub-heading, right? Okay, sub-heading. This is the report that you can use sub-heading, right? Okay, as you can see, right? Okay, report of a road accident, right? Okay, place in front of Maybank, Jalan SS, okay, 15-4, Subang Jaya, date 2 May 2012, time, right, 4 p.m., right? Okay, how the accident occurred, right? Okay, that's the sub-heading, right? Okay, so this will make your points very organized. Why you have to do this? Okay, as you can see here, see, there are so many things you need to talk about. You see, the notes that you need to include is place of accident, date, time. Okay, this is separate things, right? Okay, then how the accident occurred, so that is a separate things altogether, right? Okay, you have to explain. Then you have to give the description of the vehicle and the driver as well, right? Okay, so there's so many things are here, right? Okay, so if you do not put a sub-heading, okay, people can get lost, right? Okay, if you write in paragraphs, people will get lost, like people still can make the connection, but like they won't able to relate it very quickly. So but when you use a subheading, it's easier, right? Okay, it's easier, right? Okay, that's why, right? Okay. Okay, so how the accident occurred, right? Okay, I was standing at the traffic light, right? Okay, all right, I was waiting to cross. Busy when the pedestrian turned light green. I stepped forward to the crossroad. Suddenly, a car appeared from nowhere. It was speeding along the busy street and could not stop when the traffic light turned red. The driver applied the emergency brake, but still hit me. I was hit on my left leg and left arm, right? Okay, as you can see here, you see what happened. Standing in traffic light in front of me, bang, right? Driver car speeding, did not stop. My hit, my right, this one, right? Okay, so we also like can talk about, right? Okay, what do you call this? Just hold on, right? Okay, so description of the vehicle and the driver, right? Okay, so the car that knocked me is a red Proton Satria, right? Okay, plate, right? Okay, so this is, we are talking about the description of the vehicle and the driver, right? Okay, so the driver is a Chinese man in his 20s, right? Okay, is there as well, right? Okay, right. Driver's fault, right? Okay, this is what you think that your opinion, right? Whose fault is this one, right? Okay, because when you are reporting, definitely you cannot like say it's my fault, right? Okay, cannot, right? Oh, we do not know whose fault is this. You cannot that also. You must have an opinion, right? Okay, a reservation, right? Okay, whether who do you think is guilty here, right? Okay, so action should be taken against him for reckless driving and not stopping to assist me, right? Okay, so reported by signature Judy and followed by your IC number, right? Okay, so this is for basically accident, right? Okay, so this is something very important, guys. Okay, like in future, it's not that I want you guys to get involved in an accident, but let me tell you, right? Okay, if you see, accident is not only caused by you, other people also can cause accident, right? Okay, other people can also eat you, right? Okay, it's not necessarily that you are the one you need to get involved in accident, right? Okay, in that case, the immediate action that you need to take is you need to go and make a police report, right? If you don't do that, right? Okay, that will be a problem, right? You may think that teacher, if you go to the police station, they will take the report, right? Okay, no, guys, right? Okay, the police officers, right, sometimes they do not want do extra job, right? Okay, so they will ask you to write everything sometimes, right? Okay, sometimes they will take it, right? Very serious case, they will take it, right? Accident, because you see, they will ask from you because you are the one who, with the details and everything, so it's better for you to write the report, right? Okay, so this would be very helpful if that kind of situation happened to you all, right? Okay, right. Let's go to news report. Okay, what about news report? Okay, this is something that student like they don't like to write. Okay, but this is very interesting, for me it's very interesting, right? Okay, newspaper report is an account of an incident or event that of a public interest. That means it should be a newsworthy, right? News reports are reported daily by reporters who have been sent to take down information of the event, right? So guidelines and techniques follow the structure of the news report, right? Okay, Start with the headline for your news report. Very, 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 very important, right? Okay. Some people are like, even myself included, sometimes when I'm busy, right? Okay. But I really want to read the news, right? Do you think I'll be like wasting my time by reading the news? Right? No, I'll just look at the headline and I'll just try to make up myself, right? Okay, what it could be possibly talking about, right? Okay. So that's why headline is very important. If you do not have a headline, then it's a big mistake, right? Okay. So in your first line, state the type of event, right? Okay. What is the event that is taking place? Right? Okay. Give all the necessary details such as time, place, and what happened. This is very, very important for news report, right? Okay. So that if you do not, then it's not considered as news. Use direct speech when quoting speeches or witness reports. Okay. I think you all know, right? What is direct speech, right? Okay. So whatever they said, right? Okay. Direct speech, right? Okay. Use the past tense to describe the events, right? Okay. Yeah. This is past tense because you are reporting an event or something already happened, right? Okay. So refer to witness or people by their names and age. All right. When you quote a name or witness name, their age and everything, you must be precise. Okay. You must be accurate. All right. Okay. You cannot just simply make up stories and everything. All right. Okay. All right. There is no need to sign the report. All right. Okay. This report is something that you don't need to sign. Right. Okay. You need to sign. Right. Okay. Let's take a look at a sample question. Right. There have been several water cuts in section 12 lately. As it affects a few hundred families, you have been sent to do a news report on this water problem. After collecting notes on the residents' flight, write your news report. Okay, so this is not easy, right? Okay, so use the following notes in your report. Occupants of about 400 houses are crying out water woes, have been facing water problem for over a year, becoming worse in the past 3 months, has reached an intolerable level, appealing to water board, put an end to water problem. What residents said, complaining about no water every day for 1 year. Residents here can't take it anymore. Situation now is getting really unbearable. Water cut in the morning without warning, right? Okay, so these are the things, right? Okay, so why I like the report? Because you look at the amount of information they have given, right? Okay, you see, it looks like more like a guided writing some sort, right? Okay, so that's why I will say that if you do not have any choice and the other questions are like you do not fancy it, right? Okay, and if you look at report and if they have given something like this, and it will be, you know, like shame for you guys to waste it. All right. Okay. All right. Okay. Let's take a look at the answer. Okay. So the heading must be there. Residents cry water, please. Okay. So this is where you have to come up with something creative, something you know, like interesting, right? Okay, you can play with the words. Okay, that's what normally journalists do. They play with words, right? Okay, so if your heading is interesting, right, for someone like me who only reads the heading, right? Okay, rather than reading the, you know, the content, right? Okay, the news itself, right? Okay, for me, I will be captivated by the heading. If the headings are not captivated, right? Okay, it's not interesting, it's not attractive, right? Okay, I won't even bother. All right. Okay, so that's why you see here, residents cry water, please. Right. Okay, in a different way they put it. Right. Okay, so that the place is very important. Petaling Jaya. Right. Okay, and Mon. So what is this Mon? Mon is a short form for Monday. Right. Okay. Teacher, can we write? All right. Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah. All right. Okay. So remember, reading a news topic is the hot pot man. Now he's in hot water. The guy is a dato, right? Okay. Yeah. All right. So a month here, we are talking about Monday, right? We are talking about Monday, right? Okay. It's a short form, right? It's a short form. All right. Okay. Now, occupants of about 400 houses in section 12 are crying out for their water woes to be solved, right? Okay. So as you can see here, so occupants about 400 are crying out for water woes. You just add in few information. That's it, right? Okay, right. They claim that they have been facing water problems for over a year, with the problem becoming worse in the past 3 months. In fact, the situation has reached an intolerable level. Okay, one of the residents, Sam Ding 38, said, all right, okay, so the residents here can't take any more of this water problem. we have been complaining about no water every day for 1 year, right? Okay, the situation now is getting really unbearable. We are going crazy. Guys, did you notice the inverted comma there, right? Okay, so that shows that they are using direct speech, right? Okay, direct speech, not indirect speech. All right, in news report we do not use indirect speech, all right, because it would be like you are telling, like what they say to you, right? Okay, so that is not the way. It's better to report as it is, right? Okay, so whatever they said, yeah, you just put it there, right? Okay, you open a comma, then you just put it there, right? Okay, that's it, right? Okay, then all right, let's go to next one. Is 5 emitting 34 added? This is a case of enough is enough. How long more we can take this? All right, okay, so a resident staying in Jade Towers, Sarima Ali 40 echoes the same frustration. We always suffer water cuts in the morning. We might be cooking or showering or washing, then the water supply is suddenly cut off without warning, and we are without a drop of our water. So class, please understand, when you are reporting something, okay, these are true life events, right? Okay, you have to get into the bottom of it, and you have to, like, come on, you have to play with the emotion, right? Okay, so you see the way they're explaining their problem, right? Okay, only then the news will be worth, right? Okay, reading, right? Okay, if you cannot connect to the news, it's impossible for us to read the news, right? Okay, so that's why sometimes when people buy newspaper, they tend to skip certain parts. You know why? Because they see the heading, they think that this is not interesting, this is not my cup of tea, right? So they just skip it, right? Okay, but if you manage to connect with the, like if you come up with something very interesting, the heading, and if you connect with your, like readers, then yeah, you can really make an impact, right? Okay, so here, most of the residents complain that for the past 3 months, the water supply would stop early in the morning and would resume in the afternoon. When reconnected, the water pressure was low. All right. Okay. The water board officers were not available for comment when contacted. Meanwhile, the residents will be making visit to the water board headquarters to request for immediate attention to their water problem. Right. Okay. So, right. So that is basically, all right. Okay. News report, right? Okay, we are done, right? Okay, let's move to something that you guys will be interested, right? Okay, among the report, all the report, police report, news report, right? Okay, society club report, I believe some students, they really like this, right? Okay, a review, right? Okay, so review comes under a report, right? Okay, so a book or movie report is a review of a book or movie you have read or watched. It should include the title of the book or movie, the story, plot, or synopsis, and the themes of the book or movie. The review can include comments about the characters and your response to the book or movie, right? Okay. So guidelines and techniques. Use the format of a book, movie, review, or report, right? Okay. First, write the title of the book and the movie. Very, very important, right? Okay. Write the name of the author and the director, right? Okay, yeah, this is very important when it comes to movie and book, right? Okay, so then write a short synopsis of the book and the movie, right? Okay, so this is why some people like this, right? Okay, because you have to write the synopsis, and let's say you watched a movie, right? Okay, and let's say the movie is still fresh in your mind, right? Okay, you can obviously come up with the synopsis, right? Okay, or if you are saying that, right? Okay, let's see, if I do not watch any new movies, what about, can I write about old movies, right? My favorite movies or anything, all right? Okay, well, they are saying that the movie that you recently watched, right? Okay, so the meaner, you can still watch the old movies in your television, right? Okay, so why not? Why not? You can write back that old movies, right? Okay, because why I'm telling you this is some of your favorite movies are, we will never forget the synopsis, but some movies we tend to forget the synopsis. Example, right? My favorite movie of all time is Titanic, right? Okay, I believe I've watched that movie, I think I lost count. I was keeping count. The last count I kept was 125 or something like that, right? Okay, so after that I watched more times, right? Okay, until I lost count, right? Okay, so if people were to ask me, right, okay, hey, can you talk about the story of or short synopsis of Titanic, all right? Okay, guys, I won't say that, that was a long time ago. That movie came out in 1997. So how is that possible for me to even remember? No. I remember everything, every scene. All right. Okay. because it's my favorite movie, isn't it? Right? Okay, so you won't forget, right? So that's why I'm telling, better go for a movie that you like, or it's your favorite movie, so you will not forget the synopsis, right? Okay, so mention the names of the main characters, and this is also another reason why you should go for that kind of movie. And because you see, I know what is Jack Dawson and like Rose, okay, like Bukater, right? Okay, so that's why, right? Okay, so that's what, right? Okay, because I asked you to go for something that right? Okay, highlight the exciting events of the story. Okay, so what is the most exciting event in the story or in the movie, right? Okay, comment about the themes and the values portrayed in the book and the movie, right? Okay, so that's what you should do, right? Give your response toward the book and movie and support with the argument, right? Okay, so that's what you need to do, right? Okay, now let's take a look, a sample question. As a class project, you have been asked to write a book report. You decided to write a report of a book you have just read. Okay, you have just read. Okay, like I said, if you guys are bookworm, you guys like to read a lot of books, right? Okay, so you guys would have remembered the book that you read, right? Okay, recently read, right? Okay, so use the following notes in your report, right? Okay, the author, of course, title, setting, synopsis, main characters, themes, response, right? Okay, so yeah, if you are somebody who is very, very into books, and this should not be that difficult for you, right? Okay, so The Story of My Life by Helen Keller, right? Okay, so the title, all right, okay, and also the author, right? Okay, then The Story of My Life is an autobiography written, right? Okay, what type of book is this? Okay, by Helen Keller. It tells us how Helen Keller, who was deaf, blind, and mute, defied the odds to become one of the most celebrated personalities in the world. The story was set in Alabama in 1997. The setting, right? Okay. Okay, so now you are moving on to the synopsis. Okay, in the first half of the book, Helen Keller writes about how she was afflicted with this scarlet fever while she was still a baby and so on. All right, okay, so I don't want to go in truly class, because you see, I thought of like moving on to speaking. All right, at least let me show you guys something about speaking. Right, okay, so I'd like to go move on. Right, okay, so lah, so what they are talking about here, they are talking about the synopsis. All right, okay, so the second part. So here they have divided into the first part and the second part, but both are talking about the synopsis. Right, both are talking about the synopsis. Right, okay, then I enjoy reading every page of the book. All right, okay, here they are talking about like the settings, like some part of the book that you enjoy. Right, okay, so I enjoy every part of the booking. I found some section of the book, especially those that deal with the early part of the life, poignant and touching. Right, so you see, so talking about that, right? Okay, and the story is very touching and informative. It arouses the feeling of the readers. It admire Helen Keller for determination, all right, okay, and diligence. I appreciate the painstaking efforts taken by the teacher, right? Okay, the book has a good moral lesson for all. It shows the triumph of the human spirit, right? You talk about everything that you learn in the book, and everything you find very exciting, everything, right, in detail. All right, okay, so the next one. Okay, so the one is done with book review, right? Okay, now let's go for movie review, right? Let's go for movie review, right? Okay, you recently saw this notice on an entertainment magazine: reviews required. Have you watched any interesting movies lately? Send us your movie review. What about you like or dislike about the movie? Would you recommend the movie to your family and friends? Why? All right, okay, so the highlight words: what you like and dislike. Would you recommend the movie? All right, okay, two things you have to focus. All right, okay, so let's take a look. All right, so I have given the name of the movie, right? Okay, Ola Bola, right? Okay, Ola Bola. So Ola Bola is a Malaysian film directed by Chu Gan Kwang, right? So the name of the director. It's a sports film which stars JC Chi as Chow Kok Kyong. So name of the character, right? The captain of the national football team, all right? Okay, further character, right? Okay, the name of the actor and also the character. Okay, in 1980, and Ron Follery as Raman, as would-be sports commentator and friend of Chow's, right? Okay, so the film is set in 1980. The setting, right? Okay, inspired by true story, right? Okay, so that's that, right? Okay, then a special feature of the film. All right, what is the special feature that you enjoy? All right, okay. So is the careful attention that was given to the detail in order to make the 80s setting look authentic and to help develop the character stories. All right, okay. So but most importantly, it is a film which teaches us to never give up. Right, okay. So they're talking about the what do you call the values that you can learn and so on. Right, okay. So I found this film very entertaining. I think it should be seen not only by all sports lovers but also by anyone looking for inspirational story. All right, okay, class. So you have answered this. Would you recommend the movie to your family and friends? Why? Okay, so I found this film to be very entertaining. I think it should not be seen only by sports lover but also by anyone looking for inspirational story. All right, okay. So I hope you guys are clear. If anything not clear, please let me know. Okay, guys. All right, okay. So let's move on to another sample question. Right, okay. So just now you were talking about books and movies. Right, okay. Now the next one, right, okay, we are focusing here is this is a general review. Okay, general review. Right, okay. If they ask you to review about a skill that you learn, right, okay, something that you know, right, okay, something that you can give, or a place that you can recommend, right, okay, like something that some place that you always go, and they ask you to review the place. So how you do it, right? So here I look at the sample question. Have you taken any classes to learn a new skill? Tell us about it. Okay, tell us what you enjoyed about the class. Would you recommend the classes to your friends and family? Give your reasons. Reviews that are approved will be uploaded daily. All right, okay. So here, so I've given the topic, right, of my review. Madeline's private cooking course, right? Okay, so this is a skill that I have learned, right? So what is it about? So you give a backstory there, right? Okay, not wanting to waste my precious time, binge watching Korean drama all day, my break, I decided to sign up for Madeline private cooking course. It was an effort to learn a new useful skill. What is that? Since I was also getting concerned about my unhealthy eating habits, I wanted to learn how to prepare my own healthy meals, right? Okay. So then you talk about it. So the classes were beyond my expectation. The kitchen space. Okay, so you describe everything, all right? You review everything that you learned there, right? The environment, what you saw, right? Okay, how is Miss Madeline, right? Okay. So you see, I love the attention she gave to me and two other students because we were such a small group. All right. Okay. So this is also you must mention. Miss Madeline is very patient. You also must review Miss Madeline. All right. Okay. You review Miss Madeline. Okay. She took the time to explain. All right. Okay. She even gave tips to improve our cooking. Right. Okay. So then at the end of the course, okay. What you able to learn, right? Okay. I was able to cook simple dishes that I could have for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Miss Madeline's goal is to teach newbies how to prepare local dishes with ingredients that are affordable and easily found here. That is a major plus for me. All right. Okay. Then, so do you recommend this? Okay. I highly recommend anyone who wants to learn meal prepping and cooking to join Madeline's private cooking course. Not only will you learn a useful life skill, you will also get to bring home the tasty meals you cooked. All right. Okay. So that is basically a general review, right? Okay. All right. Okay. So a general review. All right. Okay, guys. So I hope you guys are clear with the review, right? Okay. I think we can move on to the third type of question, which is story. All right. Okay. Like I said, students' favorite because it should be because you guys have written narrative essays so many times, right? Okay. So you guys are very familiar with narrative essays. So this should be also very easy for you guys, right? Okay. So there are two types of story writing. Writing a short story, a writing of an incident based on one's experience or imagination, right? Okay. Later, when I give you the notes, I will give you more examples of different types of short story, but later we just take a look at one example, right? Okay, because I don't want to like focus too much on this one. I don't want to drag this, right? Okay, until next week, right? Okay, so at least I try to finish it, and if we have time we can take a look at that speaking video, right? Okay. All right, so take a look at the guidelines. Okay, study the title carefully. Make sure you understand what type of incident you have to describe. Give a good introduction, including the opening line if provided. Introduce the character, the setting, and the time frame. All right, okay. So class, use the first pronoun if you are writing about your experience. If you are writing about your experience, okay, you must use first pronoun I, right? Okay. And class, story, you must remember past tense. Okay, past tense. Okay, past tense. You can use, present tense, but that is a very complicated thing, right? Okay, but to be safe, you better go for past tense. All right, you better go for past tense. All right, okay. Let's look at next. Include dialogues to add reality. Yeah, this is something very, very important, right? Okay, in stories, you must include dialogues. Otherwise, your story will be damn boring. All right. Okay. Your story will be damn boring. Right. Okay. So start a direct speech in a new paragraph. Right. Okay. Direct speech in a new paragraph. Okay. Don't put it in the same. Right. Okay. Develop the events up to climax. Right. Continue with the story after the climax. Make sure the story has a conclusion. And if there's a moral to the story, mention it in the conclusion as well. Right. Okay. All right. Let's go to the next one. Do's and don'ts. Okay, you have to have a good grasp of the topic. All right, okay, otherwise you will be confused. Write an interesting introduction for your story class. Like I say, when you guys go to watch movie, you guys are sitting in the theater, right? Okay, let's say the introduction is so lame, right? Okay, will you be inspired? Or will you be telling yourself, oh yes, I've come to the right movie, I've come to a very interesting movie? No, right? You'll be like, oh my god, what kind of opening scene is this? It's so lame, it's so slow, and it's like it's moving like a turtle, so you'll be frustrated, right? Okay, the same thing class, when you're writing a story, when your introduction is totally average or very, very basic, I don't think people will take interest in your story. All right. Okay. So that's why you have to use something interesting. All right. Give names to the characters. Please don't forget that class. All right. Don't talk as though he is she, but you don't even give the what do you call the character names. All right. Okay. Build up the events leading to the climax. Okay. You see, story is all about suspense. All right. Okay. Because if people manage to find it predictable, and if they were to guess what's going to happen next, they won't be interested in your story, because they will think that I know la what's going to happen la. I have seen, I have read and I've watched so many stories like this, right? Okay, so that's why you have to keep up the suspense until the end, so in order to give that suspense to the audience. All right, okay. Conclude the story with a moral if relevant. Okay, I'm not saying it's a must, but if you can do it, right? Okay, it will be good, right? Okay, it will be good, right? Okay, so don'ts. Okay, choose a topic if you do not have a knowledge. Okay, guys, even writing a story also, it requires knowledge, and most importantly, imagination. Imagination is really, really very, very important. Okay, if you don't, then please don't go for it, right? Okay, write the short story or incident without a proper introduction. If you write a short story, you don't even come up with a proper introduction, you do not set up the story, you are straight away going to the story and people will be lost what you're talking about actually, right? Okay, so that is very important. Forget to use the given words if given. If they're given any words, don't forget to use them. All right, don't forget to use them. Okay, don't refer to the characters in the story without names, like what I mentioned just now, right? Okay, that will confuse the readers. They cannot commit to the story, unless they know the characters. All right, okay. Let's say you go and watch a movie, suddenly you don't know who's that character. Suddenly the entire movie they are there, but you don't know their name. All right. After you finish watching the movie, will you even remember the particular character? Because you don't even know who the hell is that, like, sorry, right? Sorry for my use of language, but, I'm just telling you from a frustration point of a fan, right? Okay, watching a movie, right? Okay, you guys will be pissed off, right? Hey, what is this? We don't even know who this guy is, he was there in the entire of the movie, but he didn't even say his name, right? Okay, same thing, guys. Okay. So your readers will be very, very frustrated and they will be saying the same thing, you know, like, hey, what is this? You know, right? Okay. So that's why I was telling like that, right? Okay. So be too abrupt in writing the climax or story without proper building to suspense. Yeah. You see, if you don't build up the story, okay, then people won't wait for your climax because they will like, yeah, I already know what is this climax going to be, right? They won't be interested. So you have to properly, you know, build up the story, keep them guessing, you know, what, you know, you have to keep on guessing, right? Okay, only then you can sustain their interest, all right? Okay. Okay, end the story without elaborating on what happened after. Yeah, if you do not explain, then people will be in dark. They won't know what really happened actually. Don't leave your story hanging in a balance. But I know you will say, but teacher, if you remember, you know, most of the movies also sometimes they do that because to give like a special touch. Yeah, but actually, you know what? I'm not a big fan of that kind of movie, you know, because in the end, I want to know what really happened. You know, like, you know, I go and watch a movie and they don't even tell me what really happened. You know, that's not worth of my, you know, like money, you know, so I don't like it, right? Okay. Okay, so end the story with a dry conclusion in one or two sentences without including a moral or punchline. Yeah, this is also don't do lah, right? Okay, your conclusion should be, you know, as good as your introduction, right? Otherwise, it's no point. It's no point, right? Okay, so that's the thing, right? Okay, now let's take a look at, okay, right. Okay, class, when we're talking about story, when you're talking about narrative writing, okay, the most important element, okay, right? Characters teacher, yeah. Setting teacher, yeah. Team teacher, yeah. But guys, you have all that, but you don't have this, you are totally, you know, done. That's it. Okay, there's no way you can come back from that, right? Okay, so I believe you guys know about this. So now I'm going to ask you a few questions. Okay, so feel free to answer me. All right, if I do not receive any answer, then I'll just move on lah. All right, okay, because like I say, I'm trying to finish this up, you know, at least if we have time to show that video, at least I can show. All right. Okay, so plot. Okay, so what is a plot here, class? Okay, the sequence of events told in a story. Okay, plot is also known as the narrative structure, right? Okay, it is the structure. That's why this is very, very important. They are usually considered to be 5 elements in a plot line. Okay, this is what I want to ask you guys. Okay, you know, you guys have learned, you guys have written so many narrative essay, right? Okay, in your life, right? Okay, so definitely your teacher would have taught you these 5 elements in the plot line. Can you all tell me what are those 5 element, class? What is the first one? If anyone knows, you can type out the answer, right? Don't worry. I mean, teacher, I'm scared of getting it wrong, right? Guys, you can't get it right without getting it wrong. All right, that is my philosophy, right? Okay, you can't get it wrong, all right? Okay, you can't get it right without getting it wrong, right? Okay. Climax. Oh my God. Aziz is straight away going to the end, right? Okay. So maybe Aziz's movies will be starting like this. In the end, right? Okay, something like that. All right. Okay. The first thing is, right? Okay. Kertung is saying that beginning. Yeah. It is called exposition or background information. All right. Okay. Exposition, or also known as background information. All right. Okay, so what do you think the next thing, right? Okay, the first of 5 is exposition of background information. It is something similar to beginning, right, introduction, but it's just that you give a lot of information to set up that particular story, right? Okay, so that only then it can move. If you do not set up, the chance of you moving the story is really, really low, right? Okay, so what do you think will be the next? All right, exposition and background information is this one, right? Okay, Natasha is saying rising action, right? Okay, let's take a look, all right, whether she's correct. Yeah, well done, right? Well done, right? Okay, so rising action. Okay, what is rising action? We will take a look in a while, right? Okay, don't worry. Right. What about next? What do you think will be next? Okay. The rising action is where we build up all the tension, like, and then we lead it to Aziz's favorite, right? Okay. What is that? Right. Okay. Climax or crisis, right? Okay. Climax or crisis. All right. Okay. So you build up, then you build it to climax. Then after climax, then what happened? Okay. So if before climax, the action is rising, after climax, what will happen? What do you guys think? If before climax, the action is rising, right? Okay. Yep, correct. Okay, thank you so much, Natasha. Right. Okay, so falling action, right? Okay, so rising, the climax is the tense moment there, right? Okay, then you fall, right? Okay, so all the fallings from the climax will be revealed. Then the last one you have there is, anybody have an idea? What will be the last element that we are looking here? You already have a background information, then you already rise the action, then you already come up with the climax, then you already given the falling action, then what will be the last one? Should be easy, I guess. You have to give a solution. So the element that we are looking also will start with that name. Any idea, guys? No? All right. Okay, no problem. Right. I will reveal that. Right. Okay. Resolution. Right. Okay. Resolution. Right. Resolution is where we try to resolve, right, everything. Right. Okay. All right. Okay. Now let's take a look at these few things. Right. Okay. The plot also describes the structure of a story. Right. Okay. It shows arrangement of events and action within the story. Right. Okay. Now let's quickly take a look at all these 5 elements so that you guys will be clear. All right. Okay. So this is how this is something that you must remember, right? Okay. The first thing is, right, okay, exposition. Okay. Then you rise, it goes up. Okay. Then as you can see, the climax is at the top, right? Okay. Is the tense moment there, right? Okay. Then from the climax, it falls down. So, okay, the dust settles and everything. All right. Okay. Once the dust settles, okay, so what really happened after that, right? Okay. Yeah, that is the resolution. All right. Okay. Okay, so the first thing that we are looking here, exposition of background information, the part of the plot, okay, that provides the reader with background information, introducing the setting, characters, and main conflicts lah. All right, okay. Then the exposition usually occurs at the beginning of the novel or story, right? Okay, like what our friend said, that beginning, right? Okay, Kertum said beginning, right? It does take place at the beginning, right? Okay. The next one, right? Okay, it provides background information about characters and circumstances or explains relationships, right? Okay, so it provides all this background information. Okay, this is the part where you introduce the characters as well. All right, okay, you cannot introduce the character later, right? You have to introduce here at the beginning, otherwise people will not they will be unable to follow and they cannot invest in the character, right? Okay, you have to introduce here, right? Okay, so the next one, rising action. So what is rising action? The part of the plot where the round characters are developed, right? Okay, the conflicts are increased. So the round characters mean not the main character. The main character you introduce at the beginning, right? Okay, the round characters, are there any other characters involved, right? Okay, then you slowly bring them into the story and use them to create conflicts. Okay, then you just try to rise up the action, right? Okay, then what you do, you see series of events, usually the conflicts or struggles of the protagonist, right? Okay, guys, I think you all know who is the protagonist. Protagonist is the hero, right, the main character, right? Antagonist, I think, is the villain, right? Okay, the bad character of the story, right? Okay, so that is that, right? Okay, so why you do this? To increase tension, propel the plot forward, and lead to climax of the story, right? This part, guys, in this part, if it's not good, your story, it can affect your story. All right, it could affect your story really, really bad, right? Okay, so this is very, very important, right? Okay, then climax. Okay, so here the part of the plot that is the point of the greatest tension in work, right? Okay, the turning point and the action. All right, okay. People, this is where they give all kind of music, and like people will be shocked, looking at faces and everything. All the unexpected thing will happen. All right. So in a plot line, the climax occurs after the rising action and before the falling action. All right, okay. So the next one, we are going for falling action. The part of the plot in a work, a literature that follows the climax and end is the resolution. Right, okay. So this is a contrast to the rising action which leads up to the plot. Okay, this is what follows the climax and diminish tension before the resolution. It talks about after the climax, what really happened, right? What were the result of the climax and so on, right? Okay. The last one is resolution, the conclusion of the plot's conflicts and complication, events immediately following up the climax, a kind of cleaning up. All right, okay. So the resolution is a part of the story plotline which the problem of the story is resolved or worked out. If you are unable to give a resolution, your story will be hanging in a balance and people will not get that satisfaction, right? Okay, what your story is about, right? Okay, all right. Next, this occurs after the falling action and is typically where the story ends. Okay, so class, it's where everything ends. The reader may have some sense of closure. If you don't give this, the readers will not have that closure, right? Okay, that they are looking for, right? Okay, all right. So we look at one sample question, right? Okay, and I think we can finish it. Right, we still have another 4 minutes, right? Okay, we'll try to finish it, right? Okay, we take a look at the sample question. Okay, right here. You see a notice about a story writing competition in the school library, right? Okay. So have you ever played a prank or joke on anyone? We would like to know about it, right? Okay. Sorry, something is missing there. We like to know about it, right? Okay. Your story should include, right, why you play the prank or joke, who was involved, all right, and what happened. All right. Okay. Right. Who was involved, right? Okay, who played the joke, right? And why was, right? Okay, why you play the prank and who was involved, right? Okay, so take a look at here. All right. So my older sister and I share a computer, right? Okay, so you start, right? Okay, build up a background story. You say, you straight away the audio introduce the main character. My older sister and I share a computer, right? Okay, throughout the duration of our online studies, it was difficult for us to each have enough time to use it, right? They already tell the problem there. So both of them, right? Okay, don't have enough time to use it, right? My sister, so you come up with a little bit of conflict there, right? Okay, my sister claiming that she had more to do than me, would always hog the use of the machine. All right, okay. So then you start up, right? Okay, building up, right? Okay, slowly, right? Okay, one day I got really fed up when she would not let me use for a project, right? Okay, I hatch a plan. She takes a break to make coffee every day without fail. I lurked in the kitchen. When she came to make a drink, I went to the study and quickly did something there. It was simple yet brilliant. You see, class, he did not mention what he did, So that means it suggests that he did something to the computer, right? Maybe he sabotaged the computer or what, right? Okay. But what they are doing here, they are keeping the suspense. Okay. You should not break the suspense. Okay. So you should not break the suspense. You keep the suspense. All right. Okay. All right. Do not break the suspense. All right. Okay. So it was simple yet brilliant. People will be like wondering, what could this guy could have done? What could this guy could have done? Right. Okay. So now a few minutes passed on and she came to me. You may use the computer now, but I think there is something wrong with it. I chuckled to myself and did my work peacefully, right? I repeated this trick for days. My sister asked if I experienced the same technical faultiness where the pointer did not move. Nope, not a thing. I responded innocently, right? Okay, so now you know the problem is the pointer, right? The mouse pointer may not working, right? Okay, so that's why she asked the brother to use, and she's asking whether you have the problem or not, right? Okay, but this guy She doesn't know what this guy did, right? Okay, right now you reveal, right? Okay, what she did not know was I had stuck a small piece of sticky paper to cover up the laser sensor at the bottom of the mouse. That's why the pointer would not move. I patted myself on the back for my brainwave. I stopped playing the prank recently because I have finished my project. So here, he's talking about, like whatever happened, like you see, then he's also telling, like what happened after that. He stopped playing the prank and everything. So in the end, what is the resolution? To this day, I believe my sister still has no idea of what happened to the computer when she was using it, right? Okay, so basically you already tell, did your sister know or do not know? Your sister do not know. So you must tell that, right? Okay, so let's take a look at the analysis of the sample answer, right? So what they were asking, reason you play the prank and joke, right? Okay, so reason you already tell, because she is not letting him to use the laptop, right? Okay, so who was involved? The one you already clearly stated, my brother, older brother, and my older sister and I, right? What happened? So you already explained what really happened and so on, right? Okay, so you look at the organization. So you have an introduction, right? Okay, you have a conclusion here, right? Okay, basic linkers, cohesive device, structure, all these are normal. So look at the tone, guys. These are the most important thing, right? Okay, is written in informal manner, right? How you know that? Can you see the dialogues there, right? Can you see that some dialogues is used to add life to the story? If you do not add the dialogues, right? Okay, then it will not add to the story, right? Okay, so that is that, right? Okay, the writer has chooses to write it from first person point of view. Okay, can you see the word that I got, I went, right? I chuckle, I had stuck, I had stopped, I believe my sister, right? Okay, so basically he has used the first point of view, right? Okay, pronoun I and the uses of past tense. Okay, you can clearly see that, right? He is talking in the past, right? He's talking in the past. He's using everything in the past. All right. Okay. All right. So basically that's all right. Okay, so I think we are done, right? Okay, I'm really sorry, guys. Okay, I don't think we can focus on speaking, but no problem. So next week, one whole session, all right? Okay, we will focus on speaking, all right? Okay, I don't want to show something, like halfway and then to keep you guys guessing, right? Okay, so I think we will focus on speaking alone next week, right? Okay, and we will take a look, what are the things that we can improve, what are the things, how can we answer the question, and you guys can give me feedback. If this is the answer you give, is it okay and everything, then I will answer all your question, and I also will show you the video so that you guys have a clear picture of how the speaking test is conducted, so that you guys will not need to feel nervous and so on, right? Okay, so next week we will do that. All right. Okay, so I think that's all. The time is almost up. All right, guys, before I leave and we end this one, so any question regarding this part 3, because I know the part 3 is not that easy. All right. Okay, so you have article, you have report, you have story. All right. Okay, and out of these 3, I know that students favorite is always, all right, okay, normally most of the time is story. All right. Okay, but right, okay, like what I just told you guys, all right, I've given you the like the format for movie book review. That also good, right? That is also good, right? Okay, but most of the time that type of report must come. All right. Okay, because review is a type of report, right? Okay, so if it comes out, then maybe you guys can try, right? Okay, an article also should not be that difficult, right? Okay, so I hope you all are clear, right? Okay, so once we are done with paper 3 and paper 4, then when we come back again for writing paper 2, I will give you guys some practice so that you guys can practice it out, right? Okay, then you guys will have more understanding on paper 2 writing. All right. Okay. So I believe that's it. Okay. Any question, guys? Anything? Anything to ask? Nothing? No? All right. Okay. If there's nothing, I believe maybe use this writing concept in speaking task. Of course, Ketung, right? Okay. You see, speaking and writing both are really related. Okay, I mean they are related. Okay, they are connected. All right, they have like most similarities. Why? You see, it's just difference. The difference is very simple. If people ask you a question, okay, let's say I'm asking you, what are the advantages of of using social media? All right. Okay. Or what are the advantages of technology, using technology in teaching? Right. Okay. So I will be speaking. I'll be expressing my ideas through my speech. Right. Okay. I will tell them. Right. Okay. Well, first of all, you see, again, I did not use, that one, like this, like this. I don't say like that. I say, oh, yeah, technology is very important when it comes to teaching, right? When it comes to education, right? We are living in a technological era, right? Where it's been dominated by technology, right? Okay. Firstly, technology, right? The first advantages of that, you see, even when I'm speaking also, that's how I speak. So if the same question comes to you in a form of writing, right? Okay, what are the advantages of using technology in education? Basically, you'll be writing the same thing. The difference being that one you are speaking, this one you are writing. That's all. All right. Okay. So your question, yeah, you do that. All right. You can do that. All right. Okay. So thank you for the question. All right. Anybody else? Anybody else? Anything? No, huh? Nothing, huh? All right. If nothing, guys, okay, please take a good care of yourself. All right. Stay safe, stay healthy, and I will see you guys next week. And we will focus solely on this speaking paper 3. All right. Okay. So make sure you all are there. Right. Okay. So until I see you guys next week. All right. Take a good care of yourself. Have a nice weekend. Have a good rest. And we will see you next week. All right. Bye-bye. All right. Welcome. Take care.